yeah. It happened again. Again. Oh my. And so we got to talk about it. Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we have a fantastic show for you today. It happened again. It has happened once more. Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm in August, according to an insider. And so I want to break that down. I want to talk about what it could mean because, look, at the end of the day, right now, two kind of conversations being had here about Kathleen Kennedy. On the one hand, you know, it's probably accurate to say that even if she steps down, she's still going to stick around and produce movies, as we've been discussing over the past couple of weeks. However, when I spoke to my really reliable source, you know, where I got all the Ahsoka Season 2 stuff and all these things, which a lot of, you know, the Maul stuff was proven correct. A lot of that has been proven correct already. They said to me that there is potentially an overhaul coming and that not everybody is on Team Kathy, and that Kathy is essentially using mouthpieces and using the press and posturing for what she wants you to believe about her tenure, where Star Wars goes from here, et cetera, et cetera. And that's maybe not exactly the case. And so I want to get into full details about what could be going on here, because it is absolutely possible that she's just remaining and that we're living in KK land, even if she steps down. But it is possible that that is not going to happen. And as soon as she is actually away from those offices, it is possible that Disney or others at Lucasfilm will actually assert some true influence and actually overhaul all of Star Wars. We will get into it. We will break that down. We have a lot of other things to discuss with Star Wars. I know. I thought I was done. I even said yesterday, I was like, I don't even know when I'm going to speak about Star Wars again. Well, guess what? I guess it's today, because this whole thing with Kathy stepping down in August actually comes from a totally different report about big-time showrunners, people that were involved in Lost, doing a Star Wars show. Now, what's interesting about that is a lot of rumors about a horror show possibly being developed over at Star Wars. And Hayden Christensen himself over at Star Wars Celebration recently chimed in speaking about how much more story he feels is left for Darth Vader after Revenge of the Sith. So I want to break that down, talk about it. We have some updates about Sean Levy's movie that are bad. So there's a lot to get into with regards to Star Wars. I can't believe it. We'll do a whole thing on that. And then we have updates for the DCU. Justice Gang is a real thing. What the hell? The Green Lantern stunt coordinator video, which looks awesome, and then Warner Brothers took it down. I don't really understand that, but we'll get into it. And then more set photos for the Supergirl movie. Interesting stuff. So we will maybe touch on some Marvel stuff too, because Thunderbolts is having its previews tonight. A lot of fan events, and I expect we'll get a ton of spoilers and probably a lot of enthusiasm from fans as they go to see that. But as far as what we're going to talk about today, it's mostly DC and Star Wars. I can't believe it. Now, of course, right now, as I am streaming, many of you are probably barely listening to me because you have the Bethesda live stream pulled up for the Oblivion remake. Just another example of a famous Todd screwing with my stuff. You know, Todd McFarlane is screwing with my comic book because my colorist also colors Spawn, and it's ridiculous. And now this guy, Todd Howard, messing with my stream, putting the Oblivion remake stream at 11. What the hell? It's like I can't win with these Todds, man. What's up with Todds? So anyway, I know a lot of you are barely fucking paying attention. Thanks a lot, guys. I see where your loyalties are. And also, let me know about that Oblivion remake. When we get into the Q&A section, I'm going to be very curious. I wish, frankly, I was watching the Oblivion stream right now. So, yeah, let me know how that goes. As far as show notes go for the rest of the week, guys, the only thing on the agenda is tomorrow night at 7:30, we are going to do another member stream. And tomorrow night, we're going to watch some high-level competitive Marvel Rivals, and we're going to watch some broadcasting from some of the Marvel Rivals tournaments. I just want to kind of study. I want to study it up. Not only what does high level Marvel Rivals play look like, what should I be thinking about as a commentator? What should I be watching out for? What kind of insight can I bring to the table with some of these matchups, some of the big teams that are out there, some of the big players? And also I want to just look at how casting goes for those tournaments. What's like the language that's used? What's some of the things that fans like to hear about? How do some of the breakdowns go? So I'm going to be kind of studying, trying to get on my John Madden tomorrow. And I think it'll be really fun. So we'll do that together at 7:30 tomorrow night. And then probably the biggest news of the day, probably the biggest news of the week, if I'm being honest with you. Really, it's a tough one. I know some of you guys won't necessarily love it, but it is massive. It's huge, and it needs to be said. I am playing Warhammer tonight, and I'm so excited! I'm so excited to be playing Warhammer tonight. Let's go. A lot of you jokers are going to be checking out Andor. I'm going to be playing Warhammer. I'm going to be in my happy place. I will not watch Andor. I mean, I will talk about the controversy after everybody, finds out about it tonight, maybe on tomorrow's stream. But hell no, I'm not watching that boring-ass non-Star Wars show. I'm getting in to some Warhammer tonight. So I'm very excited for that. And I just wanted to pass that along to you all. Okay, let's get into the news. This one's kind of crazy, guys. This came rather last minute. I had missed this in Jeff Snyder's report, which we will get into as well. His report about the people from Lost writing a Star Wars show. Okay, so what are we talking about here? Well, I'm over on Star Wars Newsnet.com, and let me adjust this so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right, well, yeah, we'll do it kind of like that, I guess. Kathleen Kennedy stepping down from Lucasfilm in August. That's right, it's on the thumbnail. This comes from Jeff Snyder. But let's read this little breakdown here. Kathleen Kennedy is leaving her post at the top of Lucasfilm this year. Matt Belloni reported via his Puck newsletter 2 months ago. Now, Hollywood journalist Jeff Snyder revealed that the producer turned executive will be stepping down from the company this August, as opposed to at the end of the year or even early 2026, like some had expected. Just last week during the Star Wars celebration, Screen Rant asked Kathleen Kennedy about her departure, to which she replied, "I'm not retiring. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere." This is the same line she gave Deadline back in February when the news first broke, and of course, it's deliberately misleading. In fact, during that interview, she confirmed news on her exit would be coming out within a year. The report never said Kennedy was retiring from filmmaking, but rather that she was stepping down as Lucasfilm president. She's not going anywhere because she'll still be producing on multiple Star Wars films she's currently developing at the company. That's such an interesting... I'm glad that they phrased it that way. That's kind of interesting, though. That's like a really honest explanation for what happened. I mean, Kathy was being super sus via Deadline and during that interview and celebration. But anyway, let's read on. The big question is, of course, about her successors. Dave Filoni is still at the top of the charts from where we're standing, but reporting from a couple of months ago seemed to indicate he would be the only one to take the position. Wouldn't be the only one. A likely candidate, as we've been predicting over the years, would be his trusted producer, Carrie Beck, whom Filoni credited multiple times in Japan as the brains behind several operations, like bringing back the Clone Wars and doing the Tales series. Beck didn't attend the convention because she was in London getting everything ready and up to date so that Ahsoka could start filming within a couple of days. So that's kind of interesting there. You have Filoni mentioning Carrie Beck, sort of, speaking to her contributions at Celebration. That is pretty interesting. But by August, Ahsoka could have wrapped already, making it a good time for Filoni and his potential partner to step up. On the other hand, season 1 started filming in mid-May, wrapped early November, a 6-month shoot, which could put seasons 2 wrap date around mid to late October. As expected, even if not entirely ruled out, no plans for the future were announced during the weekend in Tokyo. The how and when this formal announcement will happen will likely be revealed in due time. Okay, so that is their write-up on this, and of course this does come from Jeff Snyder in the middle of a totally different report where he's talking about a new project. Okay, so I want to explain what's going on here, and I want to give you a little bit of hope because look, at the end of the day, there's of course a really bad scenario here, and that would be that although Kathy will retire as the president, she will still basically linger and not only produce movies, but in the Deadline article, she speaks to hovering around Dave, basically, and doing the job without having the position. And so myself and a lot of other people were really concerned with the initial reporting around Kathy and the clapback in Deadline after Baloney's write-up, and then, just what other people were out there saying. I mean, I'll die making movies or whatever she said in the thing, right? So really weird statement. As they point out in this article here, and as I've pointed out as well, it's a bit of a contradictory thing because she's literally admitting that, yeah, a succession plan is being worked on and we'll announce that within the year. I'm also not going anywhere, though. Do you see the disconnect, right? And I've speculated about this, but I've also heard directly from sources that what's really going on here is Kathy is using mouthpieces in the trades, and she's using her interviews on the stage at Celebration to position herself. And really, it's all about not tarnishing her legacy. She doesn't want to be seen as leaving because she doesn't want to be seen as being forced out, or that Disney is admitting that she was bad or wrong, or that the toxic fanboys won, or whatever. She's so obsessed with protecting that identity, with saying that it wasn't the way you think it is, toxic fanboys. I'm going to stick around and shit all over your Star Wars for 5 to 6 more years, or whatever, right? And look, that is technically a possibility. However, and this was something that I brought up after I got that big set of leaks and scoops from my older source, and I did that video probably 2 to 3 weeks ago at this point. And, we talked about Ahsoka Season 2. We talked about the Mall show before anybody knew it was coming out. By the way, I even talked about how Tamara Morrison was going to have a special message at Celebration, and he absolutely did. That exactly happened. He didn't confirm Boba 2 or anything like that, but that was my speculation. My source was like, oh, he has a message for something. Literally, the amount of shit we knew in that video is insane, right? Well, the same source or the same person told me there is an internal fight within Lucasfilm. That, yes, Kathy is trying to do what Kathy wants to do. She wants to position herself as the Empress for 6 more years, even if Dave takes over. But there is another group at Lucasfilm, and this group extends all the way up the ladder to Disney, of people that don't want this. And the word overhaul was used. I said this word in the video. We said it in the streams when we talked about it before. Overhaul. An overhaul of what Star Wars is currently doing has been requested. It has been something other people have brought up. It's something that some people there are fighting for. And I think the reality is it's because Lucasfilm internally, they put on a happy face when they go to conventions or when they do interviews or whatever, but there is absolute sheer total fucking panic over there at that studio. They haven't been able to get shit off the ground, right? Their shows are being canceled and flailing and tanking in views. They are in full-blown panic mode in a lot of different ways. So just sort of speculating here and reading the tea leaves, I actually have a really interesting question for you guys, for chat, okay? And I'm just curious as to how you feel. Answer this honestly. Do you think that Celebration went heavy on announcements, or do you think Celebration went light on announcements? I'm really curious because, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was tipped off that a possible indicator of how this battle behind the scenes was going would be the fact that you would get very light announcements at Celebration. Okay, I see a lot of people in chat saying super light. That's kind of interesting because I actually tend to think it went a little heavier than I expected, but that's fine. My point is, and what I'm trying to say here is, if Kathy had gotten her full ass way, there would have been a whole presentation where she rolled out the Rey movies. There would have been all these announcements set in somewhat stone of what the future was going to be, and it's KK's future, and you're going to like it. That's what I was told would be the worst case scenario. The best case scenario was that they would play it light, that there would be very little about what the actual future held. And that is an indicator that the people that don't want Kathy's shit, the people that want the overhaul, they're holding out. They're holding out, and that's why there won't be any announcements. Okay, so let's go back to Jeff's report here. She's going to step down in August. That's pretty interesting to me. I think, for one, just because of all the positioning, because of all the reporting, because of everything she said, and then all of a sudden she's going to be out in August. That seems pretty fast. That kind of seems like Disney was like, okay, we won't make it happen at Celebration. Yes, it leaked. Yes, it's embarrassing. You don't have to step down at Celebration, but you're stepping down in August. That's what that feels like. That's speculation, but that's what it feels like to me, okay? Now, I think once she is gone in August, once she is out of that fucking office, we are going to find out very quickly what camp has won, or if they're just kind of trying to do some hybrid combination thing where they're like, well, we can still make some of this stuff with Kathy, but yeah, you should probably do your own direction. I think this is also why the Sean Levy movie is being rushed. I think this is why the Levy movie is being rushed. And you might be like, wait, whoa, what do you mean rushed? Like, according to them, they started writing in like 2022 and all this other stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Motherfucker, he was making Deadpool and Wolverine. So, like, listen, I understand that this is an idea that was, perhaps years old, but there is no way in hell that this project has been being fully developed for all of these years. He was making Deadpool and Wolverine. Then he was selling and promoting Deadpool and Wolverine. Do you not remember how intensive that was? How involved all of that was? Yeah. No, he wasn't doing shit on this movie. And here's the thing. Another report, and this came out from Daniel. I'll just bring this up right here. Check this out. According to the latest rumors, Sean Levy's Star Wars movie is facing trouble as major names decline roles. Now, we know about Mikey Madison. However, according to Daniel, Jesse Plemons and Jodie Comer have also said no. Okay? Sarah Snook was going to be in it. She said no. Greta Lee was going to be in it. She said no. All kinds of people are turning this project down. Now, they got the goss. And as I said, yesterday, I was kind of impressed with the goss. He feels like he really wants to be there. I think it could go a good way with him. But the fact that so many people are saying no to this project, the fact that it is going into production at the end of the year, that he came out on stage, this is all kind of surprising. But at the end of the day, if you understand the political game that is being played here, Kathy might see that the writing is on the wall for many of her projects. And so she's like, yo, I need to get one set in stone, announced, ready to go. I need at least one before Bob Iger kicks my ass out of this office. That is how I read what is happening with Levy's movie and why it is happening as quickly as it is. So, once August rolls around, which is just a couple of months away, I think we're going to start to hear a lot more about what is or is not happening with Star Wars. And you might see some reports that certain projects like maybe Kinberg's trilogy, because do you remember, guys, like I'm not saying we're 100% right, but guys, we're really good at what we do. Do you remember that the Simon Kinberg trilogy, when that was announced, Lucasfilm executives were taken off guard? Do you remember that? Because I do. I reported on it. Are you starting to like put all this together? Like, are you drawing the dots here? Brother, she's trying to like force this shit in before she loses power. Okay? So we're going to find out. We're going to find out, okay? And we're going to find out soon. August will be a very important date to watch. And look, at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's watching this right now, really grumpy. She's going to make a couple calls. All of a sudden, it's not August, further, whatever. There's only so much that she can keep delaying the inevitable. She's going to be gone. She's going to be gone soon. I think it probably will be August, regardless of how she flails. And once she is gone, we're going to find out how the future will actually unfold. And potentially by the time we get to 2027 in the next Star Wars celebration, you might be looking at a whole new thing. And that would be, to me, the best case scenario. And I really hope that that is what's going on. And, look, all I'm going to say is despite all of the reporting and all these people that just want to tell you that, like, Kathy's not going anywhere, you better just get used to this, that, second, and the third. I'm telling you from the best source I have, incredibly reliable information. It is not so simple. She is using mouthpieces. She is trying to do everything she can to hang on to this by her claws. And it might not go her way. And I'm still very hopeful that it will not go her way. Okay? So, we're about to find out. We're about to find out how this all goes down. But the main takeaway here, the main thing, is that it happened again. It happened again. We have more news about Kathleen Kennedy stepping down. Now, I do want to sort of move in, though, to the actual report that was made from Jeff last night. So let's get into this a little bit, because this is kind of interesting. Lost writers Nick Carlton, Coos are reportedly working on a new Star Wars series. A new Star Wars series might be in the works, and this one could be from a very familiar pair of writers, according to trusted insider Jeff Snyder. Nick Coos and Carlton Coos are reportedly writing a new Star Wars television show. While Disney and Lucasfilm, by the way, this will, if what I think's happening is happening, and Kathy is going to lose, this shit'll never happen. But we'll see. We'll see. While Disney and Lucasfilm haven't officially confirmed, the project Snyder has a strong track record when it comes to early blah, blah, blahs. He's a well-known name in television, known for co-creating and writing the hit mystery series Lost, which kept his audiences guessing as an emotional, mind-blowing, bending stories. His son, Nick, also a talented writer, worked on a lot of major stuff, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. If this rumor is true, the new Star Wars show could bring a very different style and tone to the franchise. And I think that is true, and I think that's probably what they're working for. So this is going on. And while this is going on, we had those rumors from Tony Gilroy talking about Star Wars horror, right? And then you had these comments from Hayden Christensen, which I find pretty interesting. Hayden Christensen says, there are still tons of stories to explore with Darth Vader. From where we left off after episode 3 and everything that has to reconcile after he's trapped in this new version of himself, there are just a lot of rich stories we could still tell. And I love that. And I think that's true. I mean, we're really close to that point where the nostalgia won't work for Star Wars anymore, and people would literally eye roll at a Darth Vader thing, and especially after like Kenobi and stuff like that, right? However, we haven't quite reached that place yet. And I think Hayden is so beloved that his involvement with the thing, it even has me excited as somebody that's like, I don't know how much more Vader I need. If it's Hayden and he's really put in a performance and it's a part of him hunting down Jedi or something like that, sure. An extension of the Kenobi show. Sure. I could be down with this. Okay. Now, how do all of these things tie together? We don't know that they tie together. Okay. But let's just imagine that they do. Well, what if it's a Vader show that's elevated genre, right? A little bit like Andor, which makes me cringe, but a lot of you guys love. What if it's elevated genre from lost talent, really talented writers, that has a horror vibe, and it's Hayden and Vader? I mean, that's a hell of a pitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's a hell of a pitch. And as somebody that, I don't just not like Andor. I hate it. I despise it. I reject it. But even I would be a little interested in Hayden Vader elevated genre. That's an interesting proposition. So I don't know. I guess if this is going the way I think it is, this would probably be like a KK idea, and you know, maybe a little outside of the wheelhouse of like what Dave would like or whatever, right? But even that presents kind of an interesting opportunity. This could be something that could potentially do what Andor is doing as far as the critical acclaim, and you know, a lot of the industry people are very high on Andor, but it would also be the Star Wars character, the Star Wars actor, right? And it's the Force and Sith and mysticism and cool shit like that. Like, that's kind of cool, you know? So I guess on theme for the past couple of days, and really on theme with the conversation we had yesterday, I don't love everything that's going on with Star Wars. I certainly have my issues with Kathy, you know, with Gilroy, with Andor, and all of that. But at the same time, let's say Kathy wins. Because let's be real, it's a very real possibility that she wins and she Emperor Palpatine's this shit for the next 5 years. That's totally possible. Probably the most probable outcome, to be honest. You know, if we're rooting for Dave to win, we're rooting for the rebels, frankly. The Empire's probably going to win. But even within the Darth KK Empire, there could be projects that might actually be pretty cool and potentially take Star Wars in an interesting new direction, give us something fresh, like a new twist on an old lemon sort of a thing. And so I wanted to bring this up because despite all the turmoil and craziness that's going on with Star Wars, they have a couple of things going for them. They have some assets, and bringing Hayden back is a huge, huge asset. So this is kind of cool. It's kind of exciting. So I wanted to bring this up, and I would just love to know, what do you guys think? You know, what do you think about this show? Would you prefer it to be done with Dave in a different sort of more traditional vein? Or do you think it could work getting outside people and doing like elevated genre with a character like Vader? I'd love to know what you think about that. So there you have it on that. Now, let me just, before we move on into some of the DCU stuff, and then we'll get into Q&A, I will just talk a little bit about Andor, okay? So, obviously, Andor releases tonight, and it's going to release 3 episodes, and look, you know, multiple things I could say, multiple conversations. I guess what I'll say is, you know, many people have asked me, you know, either in the Discord or on Twitter or in the DMs or whatever, you know, are you going to cover Andor? Would you do a watch party for Andor? All of these things, despite all of my, like, I literally shit on this thing every second and possible, every time I get a chance. And I, like, really dislike it. And so, despite all of that, there's still people that just think, like, maybe I should watch it regardless, or I have a responsibility to, or, you know, they just really want me to, which I understand all of those stances. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to watch it at all. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not even going to watch it to confirm the things I already know about it. So I'm not even going to watch it, man. And look, it's one of those things where it's totally fine if, you know, you're a person out there that's going to watch it and enjoy it. And frankly, like, I hope that Star Wars fans get something out of it and enjoy it for what it is. And like, that's all good. I don't want to, you know, yuck your yum or like make you question, you know, your own feelings towards it or whatnot. But at the same time, like, I'm just frankly at a place where, you know, I'm just not going to do stuff that I don't find really enjoyable. Now, that's not to say that every part of the gig I love, and there's always unsexy stuff that any successful person has to do. That's just how life is. You have to do things you don't want to do. However, to cover an entire show, right? It takes time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes like mental focus and all of that. And it's just literally not always worth it. Like, frankly, Daredevil was ridiculous and it was embarrassing. And I felt silly because, dude, the viewership numbers on Daredevil, unless something changes in the last few weeks, the viewership numbers on Daredevil were abysmal. Like, they were so bad. And I could see it in our own numbers. I could see it in other channels' numbers. Like, there just wasn't a lot of interest for it. And man, like, there's nothing worse than committing yourself to something, because I was so excited for it. And I committed to doing the watch parties for that, and then like just kind of started regretting it each week. And that's no way to be a fan. That's no way to make content. It's no way to live. So I will not be covering Andor in any real way. I'll talk about the controversy, because it will be in the first 3 episodes, so it'll happen tonight. And I'll talk about the controversy a bit tomorrow, but you guys already know where I stand with it. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's disgusting. But I also don't think you're like a horrible person if you disagree with me. If you disagree with me and you think like this is the place to have that kind of conversation, or this is the kind of elevated genre where a nuanced take on that, this, that, second, and the third, it's all good, baby. Like, you feel how you feel. I'm going to feel how I feel. But basically, I'm just too old for this shit, man. I am not going to... Like, why would I do that, really? When you really sit back and think about it, and you might be like, well, that's your job. Well, frankly, guys, the reason these shows, I think, are not actually being watched the way they used to be, and the content around them is nowhere near what it used to be. I remember when Heavy Spoilers would do breakdowns and videos about Loki and hit 1 million fucking views. 1 million views a video. 1 million. And now I think those same kind of shows pull like 200-300K. And that's the upper end of what channel sizes can get from that content. So like the whole space is like just dramatically come down, right? Well, part of the reason I think that these shows are not actually being viewed as much is because the fandom itself, by and large, has moved past them. And the way the fans derive most of their fun and their engagement in the thing is actually not even tied to the content as much anymore, which I've spoken about at great length in hopefully nuanced ways over the past couple of months. But like, what I'm telling you is this idea that you should just cover the shows and cover the movies, I don't even think it lines up with what you really should do as a content creator if you're just looking at how the people in your niche are actually acting towards videos, right? So, yeah, man, that's a very long-winded way to say it, but yeah, I'm not watching Andor. I'm not going to cover Andor. I reject it. I don't think it's Star Wars, and that's okay. I can do that. Like, even if I wasn't a content creator, I can do that. I should be allowed to do that. So that's my stance on that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the DCU. Hang on now. Hang on now, because I want to talk about the DCU, baby! So, as you guys know, I have flipped on James Gunn's Superman. I am team James Gunn Superman. I'm all in on the DCU. I'm super excited for it. However, James Gunn is still a big old dummy. And unfortunately, I don't know. He makes it hard. Even when you want to root for the guy, he makes it hard. And there's information that keeps coming out about this movie. And it's like, oh boy. So I just want to explain just one little thing about this. And like, by the way, a large amount of people are reporting how much of the movie is being changed and cut right now. And Gunn might be really interfered with the studio, but that's like a whole nother thing. Until more clarity comes on that, I'm not even going to really report on it. But check this out. Leak reveals superhero team name for Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific, and Supergirl. So they're a part of a team literally called the Justice Gang. And that is some lame-ass James Gunn shit. And, wow. The Justice Gang. So, this also corresponds to another plot leak that came out that a lot of people were like, bro, this cannot be real. because it's so ridiculous. And there's some stuff in there that you're like, God damn it, James, you know? And so I am flipping back. Fuck James Gunn. I'm ripping it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, like, brother, like, you know, I'm really trying here. And I'm really trying to, like, you know, support and be positive. But I got to tell you, like, just more and more stuff keeps coming out about this thing. And you're just like, this goofy ass, spiky, white haired freak. Like, why can't anybody, like, calm this dude down, like, get him to just be a little normal, like, not full ass, but just like a little bit normal. So I don't know, that shit's really concerning. And then I gotta tell you, there's a couple other things going on here, because for me, and I've said this for a while, Superman is actually my least anticipated of the coming DCU projects. Lanterns, much higher on the list. Supergirl, much higher on the list. Because I don't jive with Gunn's style, and I don't think it's right for Superman. My greatest hope in the world is that he actually made the least James Gunn movie ever in Superman. That's what I'm hopeful for, and that's why I like the CinemaCon footage, because it felt earnest. It felt like not as infantile as a lot of Gunn's shit. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Now, we've been getting all these Supergirl leaks, man, and there were a bunch that happened again yesterday from the set. And like, dude, it just looks so cool. Like, it just looks so damn cool. The sets, the costuming, the action, you know, you can see some of the coordination, the way that they're doing this shit. And you're just like, wow, like, they're really nailing it. Like, they're really nailing it. This looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. Well, yesterday, the stunt coordinator for the Green Lantern show shared a similar video. And all this video was, because here's the thing, the video got taken down. It's so weird, right? But all the video was the way he wants to do the flight with the Green Lanterns. And so he had stunt guys, you know, he had wire work, and they were doing cool versions of, like, taking off and landing and stuff. And, you know, I was looking at it, and just like probably most nerds, I'm looking at it, and I'm, like, imagining what it would look like with all the green energy in the ring and shit. And, like, you know, because I think at some point we all got into this because of our imagination, and, you know, we read the comic, and then we imagine it, you know, ourselves. So we all have a pretty good imagination. Watching that video, it just seemed so cool. And it made me realize I'm so excited about these characters that even just this little thing of, like, so this stunt guy is studying the Green Lanterns, right? And the Lantern Project is supposed to be very, like, grounded. And I think they want it to feel really adult, you know, almost like a True Detective type vibe, right? And I'm like, I love that, and I love all the ideas about it and whatnot. And then you watch this guy, they're taking off and they're landing, and you're just like, dude, that looks pretty badass, you know? Like, there's some swag in the way that they're doing it, because kind of keeps the ring down and, like, just, like, doesn't, it's not like a full-on Superman thing. It's more like, boom, and then they take off, and I was like, dude, that's cool. But here's the problem. They took the video down, dude. It's down everywhere. Warner Brothers is so damn ridiculous. You know, when did the CinemaCon footage come out, guys? When did the CinemaCon footage come out? What was it, 2-3 weeks ago? Do you know that I reacted to that footage, right? And Warner Brothers copyright claimed it, okay? And I was like, guys, I literally, I wish I had the full, because I wrote an appeal through the copyright system on YouTube. I wish I had recorded or screenshotted my appeal, because I was basically like, guys, what are we doing here? And I explained, you know, the actual copyright law and, like, the exact section and the paragraph, and, like, brought it all up. And I'm like, come on, what are we doing? This is so clearly commentary. This is so clearly transformative work. You don't have any legal leg to stand on here. And I'm also being very positive about this footage. Like, what are you doing? Release that shit. Warner Brothers gets back to me and basically says, we reviewed that, get fucked. They don't care. They literally just want to take the money from it. They want to hurt it. And I think at some level there's this attitude from Warner Brothers of, like, disgust. And I don't know if this comes from Gunn or not. You know what I mean? I'm going to be super fair. I don't know if it comes directly from Gunn, because technically it existed before he took over. But Warner Brothers has this attitude and it's a little bit like Nintendo, where it's like, dude, that's our shit. How dare this freaking nerd over at the Den of Nerds be making money off our shit? You know what I mean? And so this attitude is so ridiculous. And the stunt video that we're literally being positive about is getting taken down from the internet. It was your own stunt coordinator. Say what you will about Disney. At least they let shit roll online. They let all the anti-Disney folks, to my knowledge, they have never used any copyright law to try to silence anybody or try to shut anybody down. Literally never. They have never attacked me for using like trailers, this, that, second, and the third. Like, Disney is pretty bad in a lot of ways. But we got to be real as far as like content and not abusing these systems and allowing the conversation to happen on social media. Disney is so far ahead of Warner Brothers. It's crazy. So this is weird because it's like, here's what I think is happening, man. And I just got to say it the way that I feel. This is honest. This is coming from my heart. One of the big reasons this guy is bad at being president is because he has been unable to foster a fan environment that creates positive experiences. I literally heel turned on DC and started trying to be positive and started trying to post positive shit. I was literally trying to support. And I got just as much pushback and flack and videos taken down and videos getting copy struck. And, you know, it's just like, this is crazy. How are you supposed to actually foster a positive fan experience? I'll tell you the way to do it. You don't just grab up shill access media, give them all the access, have them come to all. It's so inorganic. It feels so fucking fake. Like, it's so stupid what they're doing as far as trying to build up this hype and trying to build up this excitement. And like, again, we give Feige a lot of shit lately because Marvel's kind of fallen by the wayside. Things are going badly. But Feige has not once ever insinuated anything anti-fan. Feige has never ever made a comment about fan commentary, videos, YouTubes, all this other stuff. He literally has never done anything like that. And Gunn has. Like, that's just what it is, man. So it's like, I find myself, even as I'm trying to get on the team and help and support and be positive, they are literally fucking that up. And I can't believe it. So, look, I actually wrote a lot of this stuff with a positive slight. And then when this video got taken down and when I saw the thing on the YouTube channel with the copy strike thing, this isn't a good time. So it's like all the projects that aren't Gunn look better. If Gunn would just shut up, the fans and I think everything would go better. It's like it's even tough to root for the guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's just like really tough to even try to root for the guy and be positive about Superman. So just wanted to bring that up because I think Lanterns looks cool. Warner Brothers doesn't want you to see how cool it looks, you know? It's crazy, but that is what it is. So there you have it. Fucking DC, man. James Gunn. Here we go again. So that's going to do it for all of the main news section. We could break it to Q&A, see what you guys are thinking about all these different things. Of course, a lot of Star Wars stuff. Oh, you know, one last thing I'll say before we get into Q&A. We are, and it's like hot in here. I got to take this off. It's hot in here, dude. There is a fan event tonight for the Thunderbolts. How many of you guys are going to the fan event? Anybody going to see Thunderbolts tonight? I'm jealous of you if you are. I got tickets for Philly and then decided not to go. So technically I have 2 tickets for the Philly screening. Hey, look, some people are going. Awesome. So that is happening tonight. And this is a marketing thing for Marvel. I think they're obviously very happy with the movie. I think they want fans to go see it. They want fans to talk about it. It's probably going to be a very good marketing push, too, because I expect fans will have a really good time and want to talk about it. But the other flip side is we'll probably get a ton of spoilers. I'm wondering if they're actually going to show the post-credit scenes as well. I think a smart thing to do would be to not show the post-credit scenes. And then at least save that surprise for the actual movie and whatnot. We'll see. But either way you slice it, we're probably going to know a little bit more about Thunderbolts, the quality, how fans feel. And we'll probably know a little bit more about the leaks, the rumors, and what's actually in the movie and potentially the post-credit scenes. And I might do a video on it tomorrow, you know? So we'll see. I mean, I have literally never had a Thunderbolts video pop. It's crazy. Look at the Fantastic Four videos and then look at the Thunderbolts videos. It's like, it's sad. It's sad. It sucks. It sucks ass. Because I think Thunderbolts is going to be just as good, maybe even better. But all the hype's in Fantastic Four. So on the one hand, it's like, well, at least there's some hype. But on the other hand, it's like, damn, dude, Thunderbolts, oof, looking rough there. So we'll just see. And I think we're going to get a bigger, a piece of that puzzle will be solved tonight/tomorrow. So look forward to that as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's break into the Q's and the A's. And also, I want a marathon alpha code. So what the hell, chat? Where's my marathon alpha code? Why haven't any of you gotten me one of those? And then also, what's up with the Oblivion thing? Is the Oblivion remake, does it look dope? Did Todd drop the price tag or what? Hey, what's going on with Oblivion? Marathon gonna be DOA? Well, if that's true, then just give me a code. Who cares? You know what I mean? Okay, let's get into the Q&A. First in today was Zach and says, you have my utmost attention. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Joshua Kemmel Bluegrass says, I'm here. Fuck Oblivion. I mean, Oblivion's a great game, but yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Lightning Slug says, my birthday is in May, but if what you have shared about KK is true, I will be celebrating in August this year. Ready for change. Dave for president. Hell yeah. Woo! Hell yeah. No, I agree, man. Either way, I think it's going to be good that she's gone. We'll see the full extent of the changes over the weeks and months following the official announcement. I appreciate you. Shub says KK will go down in history as the person responsible for almost destroying a bulletproof franchise. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I definitely think so, and I don't think there's any way around it. You know, I think a lot of what she's doing right now is just potentially making it worse if that's what she's really thinking about. It's silly. Overbound says, fuck Todd. I know, right? I mean, look, I'm not trying to say it's all Todds, but 2 Todds have ruined all Todds for me. You know what I mean? So, like, it's on site with Todd. Like, are there any Todds in here? If your name is Todd, throw a 1 into the chat. I'm just curious. Javier Mendez, thank you for the cheers, brother. Appreciate you. CTMZ says, be blessed. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Benjamin threw a 1 in the 8. Mods, ban all the people that are named Todd. Yeah, all these people that are saying their name's Todd, ban them. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Braden Thompson says Justice Gang is a spoof on Injustice Gang in the comic. Yeah, that could be true. It's still a silly ass idea. Absolutely terrible idea. And there's no goddamn way that they should do it. Okay. Paradise says, about a year ago, WDW Pro leaked that KK was trying to negotiate her retirement with all the things she's now claiming in the media. I think she's trying to force their hand. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think so too. And that's basically what I've been saying, is that I think there's a game being played and Kathy has a lot of influence and she is the president of Lucasfilm currently, so she can call up the trades and, you know, especially that one dude who did the rebuttal article when we did the Nerd Theory reunion show. Like, that dude is apparently just like, he has a reputation, as Matt said in his clapback to, I forget the way Matt phrased it, but he said, like, there was never an executive asshole that he wasn't eager to climb into or something like that. Like, it was pretty harsh language. So, yeah, I think that's probably true, brother. I think that's probably true. Oblivion is $50. Does it look good? What's the deal with it, man? What's the deal with the Oblivion remake? 50 is not bad. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I think 50 is pretty bad, but it would have to. It's free on Game Pass. Holy shit. Now that is cool. 50 is better than 80. That is true, but 50 for a remastered Oblivion does not seem right. It depends on what's in it. What is in it? Is it like how's the textures? Is there a multiplayer element? Is it the same game with a facelift? Are there new features? Is there a new story? Like, come on, man. It's not on the PS Store yet. I keep checking. Okay, interesting. Interesting. They need to have a physical version for me to buy. I almost never buy digital games. Oh, interesting. It's just a port? Well, that does not seem like it's worth it. Game Pass is cool, though. I have Game Pass. So maybe I'll get on there and play it on Game Pass. It's available right now. That's cool. It's not a port. That's good. That's good. It's not just a port. Okay, well, what's in it then? What's in it? Get new glasses? Yeah, I should probably do that. You were watching the reveal video? Yeah, well, how come nobody's telling me what it is? But do you have an Xbox? Yeah. Yeah, I do. New voice acting? Okay. It's basically a remake. You getting a haircut today? Yep, absolutely. But not a full remake. Interesting. I want to play it, Josh. Give me money. Nah. That is interesting, though. They specifically said it's not a remake. Well, I mean, yeah, that's probably good because they're charging $50. What? And also, where's my marathon codes? Where's my marathon code? You guys are all like, I'll pay $50 for this 25-year-old game. I'm like, where's marathon, though? Come on, chat. Asper fumbling the Battlefront remake sucked. Was that a recent thing? I don't even know if I know too much about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't really. Is that the Star Wars Battlefront one? I'm a bit confused. The 696969 code works. Confirmed. Oh, okay, cool. Do you think we'll get a third trailer for the Fantastic Four? Yeah, I think so. Probably, yeah, they'll ramp up like a final trailer, maybe put it in front of Superman. That could be good. You're about to watch Superman, and after you get really pissed about it, don't worry, because Fantastic Four's coming. That's what Kevin Feige should say. Kevin Feige should come out on stage, and before Superman plays, there should be a little trailer. Feige should come out on stage and be like, you know, we fired this guy, and looking back on it, it was probably a good call. This dude sucks ass. His movies were only good because I had a spec script for the first one, and the characters were developed by the Russos and McFeelys in those two Avengers movies, and then Gunn was able to basically get a whole bunch of extra time to work on the third script because, again, we fired his ass. This dude sucks ass. He's weird. And after you watch this stupid-ass movie, don't worry, because I got you, fam. Got my balls back. Fucking Fantastic Four is awesome. And then just literally drop the mic and walk off stage. Hell yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Man. I don't know. It might be good. Josh, do you want soul frame codes? I can't do marathon. Sorry. I will definitely take a soul frame code. Hit me up with a soul frame code. What the fuck? Yeah. Because that's like open testing, like open alpha or something right now, right? Yeah, dude. Soul frame. I know a lot of people talk shit on that, but I love those developers. I played a lot of Warframe back in the day. Let me know. Bolu Onasmuzi That is probably a perfect pronunciation. Said, what you said are definitely reasons to be positive on Lucasfilm front, but you also said it's not a certainty. What is your gut feeling on how things will shake out post her August step down? I mean, it just depends, man. Like I am hopeful, but I also just don't fully understand it. I only know what I'm told, and then I sort of speculate. So, I mean, look, here's what gives me hope. It's pretty obvious, I think, to anybody that's just been basically paying any level of attention that Kathleen Kennedy has like weird power, because her report card has been really bad for the past couple of years, and yet she keeps getting put into the next grade. So, you know, a lot of other company heads, studio heads would have been fired long before. There seems to be all sorts of like offenses that to me are fireable, like just not having a movie in like 5 to 6 years is one. You know, all your shows going down, you know, canceled shows, the hotel goes butt up, you know, like there's just numerous reasons that she should go. And yet she doesn't. And that just implies that there's like a weird power struggle optics thing going on there. And so my greatest hope is that just like we have sort of been just building this like vitriol towards her over the years, we have to kind of hope that people at maybe Lucasfilm, but at least Disney, have the same experience. Like, we have to hope that Bob Iger at some point is like furious about this shit. And maybe, yeah, when she's in there, he can't really do anything about it because of whatever reason. But we just have to hope that there would be such disdain for her and for the inability to take action against her that when it was all said and done, that fury would come out. I don't know that that'll happen. You know what I mean? And does her power extend beyond the role as president? I don't really know. I just know that not everybody's on board, and that a lot of people want a different direction, including myself. So that's the best. I don't know. Maybe 60-40, 60% she's there forever. 40% we get a new overhaul. I don't know. John Bow 16 says, a Star Wars and DC stream? We are so back. Yeah, no, I'm excited for both, but they're also run by buttheads, both of them. Josh McCummel Bluegrass says, won my first solo battle royale on Fortnite last night. Wait, what? Really? Good for you, man. That's got to feel good. Your first one ever. Did you snap a picture or take a screenshot or something? That's pretty cool. Huncho Jack says, hey, Josh, I really hope she's gone. It's starting to feel like Dave's fingerprints are all over the new projects everyone is excited for. Yeah, I agree. And that's giving me a lot of hope, too. You know, I really think that Dave almost cried on stage. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was talking about how he loved working with George and that he always wants to honor what George did. And he was literally like almost crying. I don't know if any of you guys saw that clip, but to me, when I saw that clip, I was like, yeah, that's my guy. He's definitely not on her side. He's struggling. He's trying. He's probably heartbroken about certain things like that are in Andor and stuff like that. So, yeah, I hope, man. I agree with you, and I have a lot of hope. Joshua Kemble says, started playing Fortnite about a month ago. Damn, nice. That's impressive. Good for you, brother. Good for you. He needs to stop crying. Yeah, that's right. Emotions aren't for sharing, actually. Now that I think about it, what a pussy, you know? Holy shit. Soy boy, you know? Guys, what the hell else is going on with this freaking Oblivion thing? I thought you guys would have all the info by now. I know you're not actually listening to me. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Josh, you should do a deep dive into the James Bond movies. Should I know? Should I know? I feel like it's a Cap. She was on stage for the first time in years, and now she's out. Nah. Sure, man. You know, like if you believe that, that's fine. And at this point, I can't necessarily blame you, because of the rigmarole of what Star Wars has been. But also, like, brother, I'm certainly not making this shit up. A lot of what I talked about in that video has already been proven to be correct. Jeff has a pretty good track record. So, I mean, like, if we're just going to act like, well, no, it can't be real because she was on stage. I mean, that's just not I can't. Like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, it's just literally a feeling you have. But that's all right. Do they have a poster frame shortage in PA? Yeah, dude. You didn't see the tariffs? I went there. I was trying to get this poster frame. They were like, that'll be an arm and a leg. Literally. And she got the freaking axe out. I was like, no. You know, like, thoughts on the TMT Last Ronin live action movie? Is that real? Is that real? Because that could be really cool. I didn't think that would. Did we talk about that? I think we did talk about that. I haven't heard any updates. Have there been new updates? I'm pretty sure I did a video on that, man. Pretty sure I did a video on it. That would be super cool. Vandal the Black says, is the MCU making Marvel Comics better or worse? Worse. Optimus Prime Rib says, Disney let KK do what she did. More need to go. I understand that. I understand that energy. Yeah, I understand that energy. You know, to the Marvel Comics question, right? I will say this. I am behind on my comics, but from what I understand it, the X-Men comics are doing very badly right now. A lot of fans are upset. I just saw Rob Liefeld put out a podcast episode about how he's heard that the X office is in complete disarray, and it's like maybe the worst it's ever been. But consider the source there, because Liefeld obviously has a chip on his shoulder with Feige specifically. However, we do know that like Feige and Dan Buckley basically came in, canceled Krakoa early, established the new X office early, and that's just no way to do it. So I could totally imagine that if it is just really poor quality, which I can't personally attest to because I'm behind on the books, if it really is poor quality, if it really is lack of good character stuff, if it does feel forced and people are rejecting it, that is ultimately Dan Buckley's fault, and that is ultimately Kevin Feige's fault, because that was not a Tom Brevoort move, right? We've reported on this. There's good reporting to suggest that came directly from Dan Buckley, who has an office in L.A. at Marvel Studios. Nerds Engaged with a 5 spot says, a little bit behind, but I was dying during that James Gunn rant from Kevin. Would say that. Would love to see it. Keep up the great work, Joshua. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. I mean, look, my hope was Superman, because I just think Gunn is just so bad at all these other things. However, he's a good filmmaker. He just needs to make a good movie, man. And honestly, he should not be the guy making Superman. But if he can adjust it so that it's like not as much of a James Gunn movie, I think we're gonna be fine. We just gotta kind of like Superman has to be acceptable, and then I think we'll get a lot more interesting stuff. Lantern seems a lot more interesting. Supergirl seems a lot more interesting. So, and the Batman stuff, that could be really interesting with Damian. So, hopefully. Yeah, facts. Boot up an Andor watch party. Well, you know, what I was going to do, which I'm not going to do now because I actually have a Warhammer game that I'm going to play tonight, so I'm really excited about that. But before I was able to play Warhammer tonight, I was going to do a surprise Andor watch party, okay? And I was going to, like, put it on Twitter, put the video up, and, like, everybody was going to be like, oh, my God, he's doing it. And then I was literally going to start watching Warhammer the entire time. I was just going to flip on Warhammer and be like, oh, this isn't Andor, but it seems pretty cool. And then just literally watch like 2 hours of Warhammer. I was dead ass planning it. I was planning it. Making thumbnails. But I'm just going to play Warhammer instead, so. It would have been gold, to be honest. I know. I probably shouldn't have even said anything because I might pull that off at a different time. But Yeah, I thought it would have been really funny. Brutal the Bear says, in regard to after Secret Wars, how would you like to see the narrative through line for Doom in the next saga? Nerd Adventures for Life, rival homies. Hey, appreciate you, brother. So I think the X-Men and Doom have something in common, and that is that they were both removed from the sacred timeline. So I think they have somewhat of a kinship there because they were both just considered too dangerous by He Who Remains. According to the insiders, that was actually the original plan for Doom. You know, I did this video a couple of weeks ago based on some stuff that some of the insiders have said, but the truth is Doom was coming either way. He was just going to be the villain of the X-Men saga, actually. So now they've changed it, and he's the villain of the next two Avengers movies. But as I said in that video, I think Doom, and a lot of you don't believe me, but that's fine. Like, trust me, it's fine. There's a very real chance that we get 10 more years of RDJ as Doctor Doom. And some of you might say, oh, they can't afford that. Look at what these movies are making right now. And if Doomsday makes like 1.5 and Secret Wars makes 3 billion, then it's actually the opposite. They can't afford not to do that. Look, I'm just telling you what it is. Thunderbolt's about to come out. If Thunderbolt's absolutely fucking bombs, I mean, Marvel is literally going to be like, well, do we want to lose $50 to $150 million on all of our movies, or do we want to pay Robert Downey Jr. $50 to $100 million per movie and actually make money? I mean, which one would you pick? If those are your two choices, which one are you going to pick? That doesn't matter, because the people that make the money and lose the money, they're going to decide. So we'll see. I'm pretty interested to see how all of that goes down. We're going to see. Watch those wrist rackets. Says Absolute and Ultimate Comics are so good right now. I know. And I'm behind. I got to catch up. Omega Maximus, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now. Can you stream your Warhammer game? I am certainly going to stream a Warhammer game. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight, though. But yeah, I'll do it. Maybe I'll like record a video about playing Warhammer or something. But yeah. We'll get there. If I watch you play, I'll probably understand it better. Yeah, for sure. For sure. No way Marvel is keeping RDJ beyond Doomsday and Secret Wars. You'll see. Josh, you've been reading any F4 comics? No, nothing recently. I'm really behind. I'm reading Warhammer novels. I'm balls deep in Warhammer novels, man. And I'm a happy boy. That's my happy place, man. You know? Although Eckhart's Ladder is gatekeeping my Abeloth videos, so now I have to finish that whole series before I feel good about talking about Abeloth again. So, you know, I was kind of like ribbing him about it online. But no, he's right. He's right. You should read the books. So I'm going to try. I have read 2 of them, but I have to. That's not even, like, Abeloth doesn't even really come into the picture. You see, the Jedi are starting to be corrupted, but you don't really know what it is yet. So I have to get to the point with Abeloth, and I want to read the Abeloth stuff. So, but it's just hard to pull myself away from these Warhammer novels, man. I fucking love my Warhammer, man. Man, I love my Warhammer, man. Man. I think those types of numbers are extremely hard to get. Streaming has changed a lot. A lot of people go to the theaters that much. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, you mean for the movies? Yeah, no, for sure. Those would be really hard numbers to get. 1.5 and 3 would be really hard. But I think they can do it. I absolutely think they could do it. Yeah, 3 billion would be crazy, but I actually think Secret Wars could do it. It's just going to depend. It honestly all depends on Doomsday. I mean, a little bit it depends on the Battleworld films, but if Doomsday is crazy and ends on like a wild cliffhanger, which I think it will, Secret Wars is going to pop. And then Secret Wars also has like all the Battleworld stuff, God, Emperor, Doom, like trust. Did you see the Rogel Dorn excerpts in Fulgrim? Yeah. I'm excited about that. I think Rogel Dorn is a cool character. It would be great for him to come back. I did not actually expect him to be the next Loyalist Primarch to come back, though. I still think Lehman Russ is coming back first. But Rogel Dorn's cool. Let's get it. I'm down. You love Warhammer now, but wait until KK runs that ship ashore. Denim flip-flops. Do you think Kevin Feige would allow KK to take over Warhammer? You think he would allow that shit? Really? The gatekeeper? The lore? The nerd? You really think that guy is going to let her near his baby? He'd load up those arms like fucking Mission Impossible, man. Yeah, I know. How much money do you see Superman and FF making? I think both of them will crack $1 billion. I hope both of them crack $1 billion, and I think they will. I'm excited for both movies. Kevin Feige, you mean Henry Cavill? Yeah, is that what I said? What did I say? I'm losing track of my brain parts, guys, okay? I don't even... What are we doing here? It's Kevin Cavill and Henry Feige. Come on, guys. Don't you know a thing about a thing? Holy. Holy. All right, what else is going on, guys? Got like 5-10 more minutes, and I'm out of here. And then I'm out of here. Out of here. I'm gonna paint up my Deathwing Nights. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. I'm gonna do a lot of painting today, you know? Unless I get a code for Marathon. If I get a code for Marathon, then I won't paint as much. I mean, what the fuck do I have to do to get a Marathon code? What good is a mediocre amount of internet fame if it can't translate into getting a Marathon code? What am I even doing here? Matthew said, Sunday's episode of The Last of Us was the best hour of TV since Battle of Bastards. Unity. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it, brother. Skill issue? I know, right? Email them? I should write them a real angry email. You know? Discord painting stream? Probably not now, but I've obviously been painting a lot, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the painting. I do want to do a painting stream. You know what I was thinking about doing, too? Because I promised Justin that I would get him some Eldar. What if I painted some of the Eldar pieces for Justin on a live stream? And then I was thinking, too, because Matt, Nerd of the Rings, he's doing some Space Wolves. And I don't know how he's feeling about it, but I could potentially paint him some Space Wolves. That would be kind of cool. And then I could send them out, you know. Nerds Engaged as Dream Warhammer director and writer. Dream Warhammer director and writer. I don't know, but something just popped in my head and I want to say it. I watched the John Watts movie on Apple TV called Wolves. And, dude, it's really good. I don't know how many of y'all have Apple TV, but I highly recommend that movie. I thought it was such a smart script. I thought the cinematography was incredible. The directing was incredible. It was almost like John Watts had to, like, prove after all the Marvel slop that, like, he could actually, like, really make, like, really artsy, beautiful movies or something like that. And I love those Spider-Man movies, but, like, they lack a certain style that is obviously apparent in the Wolves movie. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Dream directors for Warhammer. Somebody that gets atmosphere Obviously, you need action. I mean, I think Cavill's going to try to get Chad Stahelski. I think Cavill's going to try to get Matthew Vaughn. Like, if you think about the people that Cavill really likes to work with, Guy Ritchie, those would all be good. I think Denis would obviously be really good. Peter Jackson would fucking crush Warhammer. I just don't know if he has any interest, you know? And he's, you know, he's on the older side. Robert Eggers would, oh my God, yes. Perfect. Robert Eggers would be incredible. Snyder, of course. Snyder would be perfect. Neil Blomkamp, I can see that. I can see a Blomkamp, yeah. Yeah. Wes Ball, yeah, that could work. He's doing Zelda right now, though, isn't he? James Wan, yeah, totally. True. Tony Gilroy, nope, get him out of here. You think Gunn makes it? Wait, what? The fuck? Josh, you think Gunn makes it hard to like him, but does Sue Storm make it hard? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hear me out, James Gunn. You think Henry, the guy that got fired by that dude? I mean, that's one of the best things about how it all went down is we can pretty much be assured that there will be no James Gunn involvement. W. Can we talk about how thick they made Emma Frost? Yeah, she's pretty thick. She's pretty thick, I'm not going to lie. James Cameron, for sure. I think Cameron's going to be done after Avatar shit, though, right? You guys think Cameron's going to still make movies after the Avatar shit? I don't think so. Christopher McQuarrie? Yes. Yes. Good pick. That's the guy that should have did Superman, to be honest. George Lucas? George wouldn't do that. It's not his style. It's not his thing. We'll see. I don't know about that shit. Guys, let me just check real quick. Still no codes. Where's my freaking marathon codes? What the hell? The fuck? I'm checking my email. I'm checking my DMs. I'm checking Twitter. I'm checking Discord. No codes. Guys. Hello? Is this thing on? Check your grinder. I don't know what that is, but you know what? I'm going to probably get one. If you're telling me I can get a marathon code, I'm all in on Grinder. You know? All in. What do I got to do? What is this Grinder? Hope it doesn't involve anything I wouldn't be comfortable with. But to be honest with you, I'm so desperate for a marathon code, maybe I'll give it a try once. Anyway. Anyway. That's a fucking family show. You know what I mean? Full dog marathon. Oh my God, dude. What the fuck? Full dog marathon. Okay. All right. Well, chat, that'll do it for today. That'll do it for today. Much love. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys so much. As always fun hanging out with you guys, talking about the news. There's hope for Star Wars, man. There's hope for Star Wars. There's hope for DC. You know? So we'll see what happens. Andor tonight. I'm playing Warhammer. Some of y'all watch it. We'll talk a little bit about tomorrow and the grape and all that. It should be really exciting. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Much love, man. I appreciate y'all. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, man. Hey, we did it again. By the way, I guarantee there are some people really mad about the way I just reported about the KK stuff, but I promise you it's not an act. That is absolutely what I think is going on. It's absolutely what I heard from sources. And you're going to get pushback from certain people that are trying to control the narrative in a different way. But I promise you guys, I take it seriously. I try to be accurate. Things change and I'm not always correct, but I'm trying to, as best I can, to tell you what's actually going on. So we'll see. And we'll see together. So, appreciate you. Thank you. Much love. Do me a favor. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt.